Do you feel a little bit more comfortable with Lammens in goal?
Yes, definitely. I think his last two performances have been 7 and 8 out of 10, but because our goalkeepers for the last few years have been like 2 and 3 out of 10, it's feeling like a 10 out of 10 performance.
I agree. I think the more on notice they go in the game, the better they're performing.
Hi, I'm Olivia Bazaglo.
I'm Joleon Lescott. This is In the Mixer, brought to you by Sky Bet.
We cover the stories that matter most in the game, but want to hear your thoughts, so drop us a comment below. And if you're new to the show, hit subscribe as well. This week, we're joined by Manchester United fan and content creator Alice Abrahams joins us. Alice, I mean, talk of all of the weeks we could get a Manchester United fan on.
He must have been nervous.
Yeah, he must have been nervous. Did you ever expect that result at Anfield on the weekend?
Do you know what? The only reason I expected it a little bit is because I was like, there's so many little things. Like Rúben Amorim has never won back-to-back games. We haven't won at Anfield in nearly 10 years. I was like, this would be the
And you
game.
saw them as positives.
But I was like...
Records are there to be broken.
I was like, surely we're going to have to win back-to-back games soon. Surely we're going to have to win at Anfield soon. It's been so long. I was like, surely. And this is the place to do it. You can't win back-to-back games at a better place than Anfield. To hand Liverpool their 4th loss in a row. As a Man United fan, you can't get better than that.
As any one fan, to be fair,
Yeah.
I don't mind Liverpool lose, especially when in a title race. I wasn't mad at all.
Talking of Manchester United then, because I thought, and we won, I thought Rúben Amorim got his game plan absolutely spot on. But Mateus Cunha, for me, I mean, he's just, we know how good he is since moving from Wolves, but I feel like that game, I mean, when you need the ball to stick to someone's foot in the last 15 minutes, he was unbelievable for you.
Yeah, he was my second half man of the match. I think he was so important when you have the 1-0 lead and you're under a lot of pressure because the Liverpool goal was coming when they made it 1-1.
Yeah.
And we just needed someone to take a bit of pressure off to hold the ball. And he'd have like 4 or 5 players around him and he was drawing fouls, he was holding the ball, he was doing so much little stuff to slow down the game. And I think, he didn't get a goal or an assist, so it might go under the radar for some people, but I think the importance of what he brought, particularly in the last 15 minutes, like you mentioned, was so big.
Yeah, definitely. I think it showed that, it's important that forwards, strikers score, but the importance and their role and ball retention, I think it's probably one of the most underrated things a striker has to do and be good at, do you know what I mean? I think the ability to keep possession and just relieve pressure, get the team up the pitch, whether you're travelling or just holding the ball up and occupying opposition players. So, it was tough.
Did you feel like Rúben Amorim's moment? Feel like it's been a long time coming, but that felt big.
Yeah.
But they have to back it up.
Yeah.
That's the most important
I think that's
thing.
if they back it up, then it feels like a moment. I think
It can't just be one in isolation.
it can't be that. I think if they go on and beat Brighton, then I think, it's a real
turning
statement.
point.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Like, winning at Anfield is a big statement as a manager because I think the last manager to do that was Van Gaal for Manchester United, so it's been a long time. But it's like, we've done all right in the bigger games. I sometimes think under Amorim, we got 2-2 at Anfield last time. We've beat Manchester City. We've beaten Arsenal, knocked them out of the FA Cup. It's the games that the biggest test for me are the Brightons, the Crystal Palaces, where we never seem to get that win over the line. Like, I actually can't remember the last time we beat Brighton. I just am so used to losing 3-1 to Brighton. It seems to happen all the time. And I'm like, it's like 2 wins in a row is good. Maybe that's going to give the players the mental boost because I think there's a big mental side behind Manchester United as well. So I think if you can beat Brighton and go for 3 wins in a row, then I'm like, could Rúben Amorim build a run of form? Because every manager we've had has had a little run of form at some point, and we've not had that under Amorim, so it'd be nice to get some form going.
Beat Brighton, win the next 2, and that guy Frank can cut his hair.
Yeah, man.
He's buzzing.
He's getting a trim. In the winter as well, middle of winter, getting a trim. The worst time.
No, with Manchester United, obviously, like you say, the problem has been the consistencies. The Brighton game, you have lost 6 of the last 7. This is the thing with Brighton. They're either you never know what you're going to get, but they're coming off the back of a really positive result. And they seem to know how to play against Manchester United. Now, when you look at the Liverpool game, Man United knew how to play against Liverpool and it worked. But Rúben Amorim's going to have to change because he can't play the way he played against Liverpool against Brighton because he'll get beat.
Yeah, that's the problem with Rúben Amorim is he doesn't really have a plan B. Versus Liverpool he did, it was kind of long ball, but you do that when you're not expecting to have much of the ball and you're coming to get up against Liverpool. Versus Brighton, I don't know because I feel like Brighton are a little bit technically better than us. They press well, they've got a bit more energy in the midfield. I do sit there and I'm like, how are we going to beat Brighton? Rúben Amorim's going to have to change bits. Like Danny Welbeck likes to get his annual goal against Manchester United.
He gets goals against everyone these days.
I know,
Welbs,
he's balling it in.
unbelievable.
But we never keep a clean sheet against Brighton. We're always going to concede some silly goal. And I'm just thinking...
Preparing yourself
we
for
just need to maybe go 1-0 up and park the bus at this point. I'm a bit worried, that I'm not going to lie.
Do you feel a little bit more comfortable with Lammens in goal?
Yes, definitely. I think it's just the small things. Like, I think his last 2 performances have been 7 and 8 out of 10. But because our goalkeepers for the last few years have been like 2 and 3 out of 10, it's feeling like a 10 out of 10 performance.
I agree. I think defensive players and goalkeepers obviously fit into that. I think that the more on notice they go in the game, the better they're performing. I don't think we should, if you're not talking about him,
It's a
it's
good thing.
It's a positive.
Yeah.
I think after like 5 or 6 games, all of a sudden, oh, he's been in goal. Then you're like, yeah, he's done all right. And same with defenders. I think when you hear their names in the press a lot, they're up to no good.
Yeah.
We'll either scored or got sent off. I don't want that. I just want to go under the radar.
Under the radar. When you look at the starts of the season that Manchester United had now compared to Liverpool, given where both teams were last season, could you argue that Manchester United have had a better and more positive start to this season?
I don't think both teams have had a great start to the season, but I think going off expectations, the money that Liverpool spent winning the league last year, signing Ings, signing Wirtz, I think Manchester United, to say you're 2 points behind Liverpool after 8 games, you've beaten Liverpool, you're 1 point behind Chelsea, I think you're 3 points off the top 4.
We're in a title race.
It's good, but it's like, and I think as well, we've played Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool and Man City in our first 8 games, so 4 of the hardest teams. I think it's good, but as we mentioned earlier, the real test is how we're going to do against the Brightons, the Crystal Palace. Even Tottenham are a bit of a bogey team for us. That's the real test, and that's 3 of our next 6 games coming up.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, like I said, I think obviously United have done better than expectation due to the start, but I still don't see them in the contention for title.
Oh, what about top 4 though?
I don't
Still
see
no.
I don't see it. No.
Well, if you think Man City, Liverpool and Arsenal, realistically, I know Liverpool have gone off the boil, but they'll click at some point and they'll be, I don't think they'll win the league. I think it'll be Man City or Arsenal.
There's only one place up for grabs in there.
And that's 4th, and it's probably Chelsea's.
Yeah. I think top 6, but not top 4.
We don't agree.
You don't agree?
Not yet. I think I might have predicted them though, to be fair, but
Did you? Yeah.
It could be anyone. There's a few teams, Spurs as well. Like,
everyone's just, that's the thing. If Man United can start beating those teams, then there is no reason why they can't make a push for the top 4. Really?
Yeah, it's a bit like Chelsea last year. Everyone thought they were going to get top 4 last year, and they had a really good start to the season under Maresca and beat some of the teams. And I think if United can go on a run and get a run of wins, you can actually start going up the table. You just need a run of wins, because the table's so close right now. And I think the mid-table teams are so difficult that everyone's going to drop points at some point. It's just like, can you win those games?
I think we've got to talk about Harry Maguire. Let's talk about Harry Maguire, because for so long he has been criticised, not good enough, but the impact that he's had, I mean, on the pitch, he scored some huge goals, none more so than that goal at Anfield. And getting his head on the end of a brilliant Bruno Fernandes cross, by the way, that is exactly the reason why you have someone like Harry Maguire in your team, isn't it?
Yeah, he is sometimes the saviour. He's sometimes Amorim's super striker tactic. Versus Lyon, I think he scored at the end as well for that comeback. And today, and I wasn't sure if we were going to score. I thought it might end 1-1. I think it was a little bit against the run of play, but all you need is one good Bruno cross and Maguire's head. And it's happened so many times that, I think he's been pretty good for us when he's played this season. He's reliable, and, I would like to see him get called up for England potentially as that 4th centre-back. I don't think he'll start, but...
He'd be good off the pitch as well, wouldn't he, for England?
Having worked with him, he's definitely be good off the pitch. He's very coachable, very well respected in the group.
Experience.
Yeah, and maximum effort, and he's not an average player.
Yeah, and Alice, what would be realistic for Manchester United? What would you be happy with, given their start to the season, looking at them now, looking at Amorim, everything? What are your expectations for them?
I want Europa League this season. I'm not expecting Champions League, even if it's top 5. I think we have a squad that's good enough to finish in the top 8. I think midfield is probably the biggest question over the squad. I think it's good enough to finish in the top 8. We've got 1 game a week. I think Amorim should be expected to finish in the top 8, because I think if he doesn't, there's going to be questions on him, because Cunha and Mbeumo, Amad, Bruno, they're all really good players. I would like 6th or 7th to get the Europa League. I think 6th is what I'm hoping for, but look, Tottenham look better. You can never write off Villa and Newcastle, even if they started the season slow. The top 4, we think that's pretty much settled on. Palace, Bournemouth are good. So I'd say finish in the top 8, but ideally 6th or 7th.
As you can see, I'm in Liv's seat. She's had to leave us, so we're going to continue to talk all the points from the weekend. So what do you think is going on at Liverpool?
What I think is interesting, and a few Liverpool fans have mentioned this with concern, but Slot doesn't seem to quite know his best starting 11 yet. With the new signings, he's a bit reluctant to use Frimpong. Florian Wirtz, a big money signing, has been dropped. Ekitike was doing well, then he's been dropped for Isak. And there's a bit of confusion there with, certain players being dropped. What's the best starting 11? And, we've just spoken about potentially Salah getting dropped. Like, as a player, what is the impact of maybe a big player being dropped?
When you're in that kind of squad and everyone's top player, I don't think you see it as being dropped. Listen, from my time, the managers used to pick the team. You won or you played well, you stayed in the team. That isn't the case now. I think we've got used to, regardless of how the team have performed and individuals performed, the next game is totally different. The manager sees it totally different. So he's gonna pick a team and select his team based on who he thinks he's going to win. So I don't think players are so sentimental to the fact, I'm being dropped. And especially if you've not played against United, massive game, obviously, but then you're playing in the Champions League in the week. They're two massive games. So you view it as, well, I'm not playing in that, but I'm going to play in that. Do you know what I mean? So I think players are more understanding to that.
One area Liverpool have struggled with, I think, is defence. They've had a real lack of depth there. Leone had a really good debut, picked up an ACL injury. I mean, Gomez has had lots of injuries, but I think he's the only option. Konate's dropped off in form. Van Dijk's still a great centre-back, but he doesn't just defensively seem quite there right now. And do you think that's maybe an issue for Liverpool? Yeah,
I think that regardless, the fullbacks, obviously, they're new. So there's going to take a little bit of getting used to and understanding the game, the requirements. And Kirk's, is an exceptional season last year, but it's a different outfit to have to do that at Liverpool. It's totally different. Like, in the greatest respect to him and Bournemouth, he's probably been on TV more this season and scrutinised than he was the whole of last season. So that's got to get used to that. You got to know that when you play for teams like Bournemouth, most clubs want you to do well. Everyone's ready to praise you. But when you get to Liverpool, only Liverpool fans want you to play well. So there's an expectation, and there's like people waiting for you to fail in a way. So you got to get used to the pressure of that, and that's what comes with playing in the big clubs. So
it's like that with all, I think, the big teams.
All the big teams.
I've always said it with Man United. You can be a new signing for Man United, and people will rank Sesko after 2-3 games. They're like, he's going to be the worst signing of the summer. He's going to be a flop. And it's like, but if Sesko had gone to like Everton everyone would be like, oh, give him time. Yeah. Let's see how he does well. And obviously going back to sort of Van Dijk and the fullbacks that Liverpool have brought in, from like a centre-back's point of view, what's the communication process like when new defenders do come in? Yeah,
the communication is important. And I think having worked in the game recently, it's probably not deemed as important now. I don't see a lot of it. I don't hear a lot of it when I'm at games. There's probably more requirements to have an understanding. Like, the coaching is so detailed, it's like you should know what to do. And communication comes in a variety of ways. Obviously, people just think it's just a verbal way, but when I'm playing with a fullback or playing with a fellow centre-half who's behind me, he's not going to hear me.
Yeah.
So the communication is my body position, so I need to adjust my position, so make him understand this is what I'm trying to create the person in possession to do, and make it predictable for a teammate. And again, having worked in the game, I don't think there's enough detailed coaching on defending on that aspect. So they're just expected to, when he gets the ball there, stop him from making a pass, which doesn't happen. It's not that easy. We're talking about some of the best and most exciting forward players in the world. It's like, well, I'm not going to stop it, but how do I make it harder? And that maybe we're doubling up and doing things like that. So communication will never not be important. I just feel that it's not deemed as important now.
Yeah, I can imagine. And one thing about Liverpool is, if you go back to maybe PSG last season, it took them a little bit of time to get gelling. They almost got knocked out of the Champions League and they won it. When they've had so many new signings in, maybe it is a case of not just communication, but the chemistry, and potentially that the squad needs to gel, and maybe they will end the season quite well.
Yeah, that's a great point. Like, Liverpool won every game last year in the groups. PSG nearly got knocked out and qualified last game, and then went on to win. Went on to
Liverpool.
Liverpool was talked about arguably the greatest season they've had domestically. So, listen, it's very early in the season to be talking about anyone writing anyone off or confirming anyone's going to win anything. But there's definitely something going on at Liverpool, because they were so consistent last year, and they've conceded a lot of goals this year, more than they
Yeah.
would have expected, regardless of the new signings. But yeah, listen, from a Premier League point of view, it's exciting, but they'll need to address what's going on there, definitely.
Yeah.
So where do you stand and how do you feel towards Salah being dropped?
It's an interesting one because Salah's one of those players that, you know, even when he's not had his best game or he's not in his best form, he can come up with that moment, that goal-winning moment, that assist or that penalty. And I know the goals and assists aren't really moving for him, but as a Man United fan, we often have the same debate about Bruno Fernandes when he's out of form. And it's like, but there's someone that's going to win the game. But then I do look at someone like Chiesa, and he's been one of Liverpool's brightest players this season. And Slot just doesn't seem to really give him the minutes, but he came on, he got an assist, he brings the energy. And I do sometimes think that, like, even if he's your top performer, your top guy, you need a little bit of energy, I think.
Yeah, I agree with the energy. I don't think he should be dropped. Rested maybe at certain times, yes, but the thing is with Salah, he's not performing any different, is he? He's just not, like you said, he's not getting the goals.
Assists,
And
yeah.
an assist where, so I'll be then looking at, well, is he getting the opportunities? He's not missing chances. Then I'll be worried if he's missing chances. He's not.
He's not even getting
any
chances. He got one, yeah.
So how do we create, as a team, how do we create the chances for him to miss? Then I can question his form, because Salah is, for me, again, undoubtedly a match decider. But his performances are pretty much the same. He's operating in the same area of the field. He's not asked to do much defensive work because he's so efficient when he gets the ball in the final third in the box. And if he's not doing that, then I've got to look at the team and be like, well, why are we not getting him the ball?
Yeah.
Similar to Haaland. Haaland's not, he does a lot more this season. He has been defensively as well. But I think there's been times where he's so efficient in front of goal. If we just get him the ball in front of goal, he'll do his job.
Yeah.
So Sean Dyche confirmed as Forest manager. I think everyone's seen that coming after the weekend. You think he's the right man?
I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't think they should have even sat Nuno to begin with. Like, that was just such a shock. And then to go from Nuno to Ange, such a different manager, I'm like, okay, this is strange. Like, he's just got European football. He plays the complete opposite way. Like, if you're going to go a manager like Ange, you almost have to give him time because he would play so different. But I guess Sean Dyche is a bit more defensive, and that has worked well for Forest. And I feel like right now they were looking at expectations of Europe to now staying up, and Sean Dyche is maybe the guy to do that. But I wouldn't be happy as a Forest fan with this whole situation.
I think he's trying to do the right things, though. It's very wacky the way he's operating as an owner, but he's entitled to do that. He's invested a lot of time and money into the club, so I don't think anyone can question his want to do well.
Yeah.
Yes, again, the way he's doing it is indifferent to how we view it in England, but looking how they do it in Greece and Olympiacos, this is very consistent to how they operate. And I'm not surprised or against the fact that he's made the change. Not that I wanted Ange to get the sack, but I thought he would have been more stubborn and kept him there longer, which would have given them less of a chance to stay up. I think now that he's done it I think that is it so fast. I think he's gone, okay, well now I've seen what we need.
I think going from Nuno to Dyche would have been more sensible than Nuno to Ange, for sure. I think it's surprising, but I do agree. I think like the Forest owner, Mr. Marinakis, wants to do well and wants to do what he thinks is best for Forest, but there is a bit of brutalness and reactionariness in like his decision making.
I think it's because we're not used to that approach taken by owners. Having played there, I've seen it firsthand, and again, like I said, they are very passionate. I'm not saying they're more passionate than owners in England, but they display it very visibly, and they address managers, players more consistently. And I think it's just the way of life over there. It's viewed and it's just taken more as like a religion. I remember when I was over there in Athens, and there were certain places in the city I couldn't go because that was Olympiacos. We was AKA Athens, and then there was Panathinaikos in the city. So, and you had to be divided, like genuinely be divided. I was told not to live in them areas and stuff like that. And as I said, like I live in Manchester now, but there's nowhere I can't go because of United fans. As much as they love their club, it's okay. So again, it's totally different. And listen, it works for them. But yeah, the owner he's trying his best.
Yeah, that's actually crazy to think that you couldn't go to certain places in Greece.
I remember we played, we were top Was we top? Yeah, we were top of the league. We had a local derby against Olympiacos. So I remember night before the game, I'm in my room and the captain comes and knocks on the door and says, we've got to go downstairs. The fans were there and I had routine when I played and stuff and I was just like getting ready and going to ice and do what I needed to do. I said, yeah, now I'll leave it, like I'll, whatever. And he was like, no, we have to go downstairs. We went downstairs and the ultras were in the reception with the flares singing and going, it was going off, like very passionate about the importance of the game and making us aware that we needed to win. We didn't win. We lost. No. And then, as I said, we were top. It was a game before international break. And then the manager got the sack.
Oh, that's brutal.
Got the sack and we were top of the league.
It is different over there.
Just because we lost against Olympiacos, yeah.
That'd be like mad. Second slot already.
This is crazy, isn't it? It's crazy.
Mad.
So yeah, it's a different world.
Yeah.
So let's have an unbiased Chelsea conversation now.
Okay.
Liv's not here. We've even put the writing in red and not blue. But yeah, 6 red cards.
That is mad.
It's insane. I didn't know it was that intense. And some would say it's like they're playing a lot of youth players, is inexperienced, but these are experienced players that are getting sent off.
Yeah, like I wouldn't say Gusto. I know he's a bit younger, but I wouldn't say he's inexperienced. I know Chalobah's younger, I wouldn't say he's inexperienced.
Yeah.
Same with João Pedro, same with Sanchez. And I think going to the Gusto one in particular, you're 3-0 up.
Yeah.
Why, like it doesn't matter why you're going in with a rash challenge, you know. I think particularly like the second yellows when you're winning, it's a little bit like, what are you doing? I mean, like as a Man United fan, I loved what Sanchez did to get sent off in the second minute at Old Trafford, but again, what is he doing? There seems to be like they're not thinking, or maybe they're over-emotional.
Yeah, I think it's more that. I think it's like over-emotional, and I think they're not recognising the state of the game. Like whether it is first minute or last minute and you're 3-0 up, it's like game management is still important.
Yeah.
Like, and game management could be in the first minute, Sanchez, or early on in the game, do you need to make that tackle and avoid that sending off? But yeah, it's a strange one. Is there enough leaders to say, listen, we are 3-0 up now. We just need to be hard to beat.
Someone to calm it down a little bit.
Yeah, just calm it down and not make a challenge, like kick it out of play and just to stop momentum building for the opposition. So
yeah, I think the most costly out of all the red cards was probably at Old Trafford because it's in a couple minutes into the game. And Chelsea did quite well in the second half to, you know, put a bit of pressure on Manchester United. Obviously, Casemiro got sent off, and when it was 10v10, you could argue that Chelsea maybe looked the better team. They obviously had to come at Manchester United. And I think if that game was 11 men, would Chelsea have got 3 points? And I do look at it and go, could this impact Chelsea's chance of getting Champions League football?
Yeah.
Because they've had a lot of injuries. They've dropped off a little bit recently. I still think they're good enough to get top 4. I've had them in my top 4 predictions. But these little red cards, these little moments, the Man United game is probably 11v11. They could have got 3 points. We don't know with Manchester United. Like, could this cost them a bit?
I think that was a strange one. Again, and also then what led to that, what followed that, was you're losing Cole Palmer. Like,
yeah,
you're taking off
loss.
Cole Palmer, who... Well, the manager felt he was the one to sacrifice, and as a United player, you're thinking, gee, thank God.
And I was loving it.
Thank God he's going off. Do you know
Neto,
what I mean?
Palmer, Esteval. I was like, he's taken off all his attackers, and he's like 1-2-0 down. I was like, they're not going to score.
Yeah.
Like, João Pedro's got no one. I was loving it.
So yeah, again, I think he took responsibility after that, but like you said, the bigger factor is let's not get sent off, and then he hasn't got to make the decision.
Yeah.
When you have a young squad, they're able to find a rhythm earlier in the season.
Yeah.
They need less of a pre-season from experience, where when you have a more mature, experienced squad that are older, it takes them a bit longer. And I think now, but also that is the business end of the season. So whether that's going to catch up with them, who knows?
Yeah, no, I agree. You can beat anyone on their day. They're very good in finals. Maresca's won trophies already.
Yeah.
And, you know, Caicedo's been one of the best midfielders in the world this season.
Yes.
We know the talent of Cole Palmer.
Don't tell Liv that. Don't tell Liv that.
We know they've got a great squad, but I think some of it will come down to depth, injuries, inexperience, and I think
It's just whether they can go again and buy in January. It's like, are they settled with what they've got? And because if everyone's fit, they've got a lot. You can't just buy based on if we get injuries. I think the more sensible investments would be older, mature experience.
Thiago Silva replacement.
Yeah, players of that ilk that come in and just have a automatic respect for the group, from the group. I think that is key. I think when you have achieve things in the game. You go to certain places and you play for certain teams, and the younger players just respect it. Just respect that you've been a professional for 10 years.
100%.
A lot of them haven't been professional for 10 years, so understanding what it takes to do that day in, day out, I think that goes unnoticed in a lot of squads and a lot of processes when recruiting players.
100%.
Talk to me, Liv. Has the Super £6 million been won yet?
I can reveal that the jackpot was not won this weekend. Probably no surprise given the scores this weekend either. So this weekend will be the final chance for someone to correctly predict 6 scores and walk away with £1 million. However, if no one predicts 6 scores correctly, the £1 million will go to the season leader this Sunday evening, which is exciting in itself because the current season leader is on 102 points and scooped 48 points in the last 2 rounds to catapult to the top. More than 10,000 players are still alive, with 76 players separated by just 10 points at the top. And even if you're brand new to Super 6, you could still take home the £1 million jackpot by predicting 6 correct scores and spoil the party for the current top of the leaderboard.
Imagine swooping in last minute and taking that. Oh, be amazing that. But I'm confident I did well last week, though.
Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, wipe that smile right off your face. Yeah, Rob the Arsenal fan got 9 points, so...
What did you get?
Doesn't matter. Yeah, all right, I got 4. So Rob the Arsenal fan correctly predicted 2-1 for Spurs Villa. How's he done that?
Yeah.
That's because he's an Arsenal fan, obviously, so he's gone for Spurs to
Talking with
lose.
his heart.
Nice, I like it. You got 2-0 City against Everton. And I basically just predicted loads of draws. However, I was close because Brighton-Newcastle was nearly a draw. Bournemouth-Palace was a draw. I got my point for that. But anyway, the current leaderboard is still Alfie, the Spurs fan. He is top on 13 points. Robson, the Southampton fan, is on 9. And then Rob, the Arsenal fan, is now also on 9. The combined leaderboard. Do we have to? The fans are on 50, Joleon.
Yes.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, there's plenty of time, plenty of games.
Yeah, exactly.
This week, we've got a Crystal Palace fan with his predictions.
Hi Olivia, hi Joleon, big fan of the show. My name is James and I will be representing Crystal Palace, the pride of South London and the current FA Cup and Community Shield holders. And here are my Super 6 predictions. Chelsea against Sunderland, the Mark Guiu derby. Sunderland have looked really strong this year, back then to stay in the division. Gave us a really strong game at our place at the start of the season. Chelsea similarly had a great start to the season. Missing Palmer is a big loss for them, but thankfully they have what can only be described as the strongest squad depth in footballing history. Chelsea, I think, are going to be too strong for Sunderland on this occasion. I'm going to go 10-man Chelsea beat Sunderland 3-1 at home.
Well, I didn't back my team against Liverpool when I should have, but this week, Sunderland at home, I'm going to agree with James. I'm going to back my team. He's gone 3-1. I actually think, knowing what Chelsea's defence is like and knowing how good Sunderland have been, I'm going to go 3-2 Chelsea.
Ooh.
High scoring.
Yeah,
You?
I don't think Sunderland will concede 3. I think Chelsea will win, so I'll go 2-1.
Okay, nice.
Newcastle against Fulham. Both teams struggling a bit so far this season. From what I've seen, this Walter Made looks a really good player for a big lad. Josh King looks a precocious young talent for Fulham. I think the Toon are going to be too strong in this one. I don't think it's going to be a classic, so I'm going to go Newcastle 1, Fulham 0.
Newcastle-Fulham is a very, very tough game to call.
Cool, yeah.
But I do think because Newcastle are at home, I do think they'll win. I know
Yeah.
James has gone Newcastle.
Good logic.
Win. Yeah,
Good
I'm going to
logic.
go 2-0 Newcastle.
2-0.
I was going to go 2-1, but
I'm going 1-0 Newcastle. I'm
You're
gonna
going to say
yeah, I'm going to say. I'm up.
Make your own predictions, mate.
No, I want to beat you. I'm like, what about James? What about you? So yeah, I'm going to go 1-0.
Man United against Brighton. Wow, where to start? Brighton, irrelevant, a stain on the Premier League, in my opinion. Forever in our shadow, no silverware. And Man United, look, I loved watching the downfall as much as the next guy, but it is starting to get to the stage where it's almost a little bit sad. In terms of the game, Man United haven't been playing that well. Brighton have had a great start. You know, they've got some really exciting young players, young manager with really strong ideas of what he wants his team to play like. Exciting brand of football. Probably should have too much for them in this game. So with that being said, I'm going to go Manchester United 5, Brighton 0.
5-0!
Childish.
I'm sorry. I don't think James knows that Brighton have beaten Man United in 6
He's
of the
Palace
last
fan,
7.
remember? The Palace fan.
I know, but come on, James.
emotional.
Listen,
It's emotional.
I get it. I get not wanting Brighton to win. However, there is no way that Manchester United, if they win 5-0, I'll never do this show again.
Come on, United.
There is an absolute...
Come on, United. No, I'm joking. I'm
that's so rude.
I'm joking.
That's so rude.
They can't win 5-0.
You just don't know what you're going to get with United. You actually don't know what you're going to get with Brighton, but I'm going to go a draw. I'm going to go 2-2.
No, I think they lose. I think United lose this game.
Man United.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, I'm going to say 2-1 Brighton. I don't see... I think the confidence will be there with United, but I don't think it will be... I think it'll be very, very confident and then they'll just come unstuck.
Yeah.
2-1.
Aston Villa versus Man City. Both teams famously beaten by Crystal Palace at Wembley during Palace's FA Cup triumph in 2025. Villa, shaky start to the season. They seem to be getting it back on track now. Watkins in the goals. Man City showing glimpses of the City that we knew kind of 2-3 years ago, and I really do back them to turn it around this year and be a real kind of title contender. I think City are going to have too much for Villa on this occasion. I'm going to go Man City 3-1 against Villa, Haaland hat-trick.
Oh, I'm glad Villa got a win.
They're slowly going about. They're slowly like finding a bit of a rhythm. The 2 goals they scored against Spurs, by the way, were beautiful. Obviously,
nice.
City are City. Haaland is Haaland. He'll probably score twice. I'm going to go...
It's that easy. It's that simple. Yeah, he scored twice.
I'm going to go Villa 1, City 2.
Oh.
Did you like that scoreline?
I do like the scoreline, but I'm nervous with this one.
Are you? What, for Villa? Or for City? For City?
Yeah, but I'm going to go with my heart and say 3-1 City.
3-1 City.
Yeah.
Nice.
Arsenal against Crystal Palace, the league's most deluded fans against the league's best fans. Brilliant start from Crystal Palace. Oliver Glasner, the mayor of South London, give him the keys, build the statue. It's going to be tough. Game on Thursday, playing again on Sunday, but I think we're going to have just enough. Arsenal... They've been all right, I suppose. I've seen a few 2-2s at the Emirates in my time, and I think we're going to go one better this time around. Eddie Nketiah returning to the Emirates with the winner. I'm going to go Crystal Palace 3, Arsenal 2.
Arsenal Palace.
Come on, Palace.
Arsenal Palace at the Emirates is tough. I think Arsenal don't concede goals, but Palace just are really good.
Yeah. I'm again a bit emotional. I want to go heart. I want to go 2-2.
Yeah, I fancy a draw here.
Yeah.
I'll just never come on the show and say Arsenal are going to win. I'm going to go Arsenal 1, Palace 1.
Last but not least, Everton against Spurs. Everton, the perennial thorns in our side. They look a team transformed this year under David Moyes, and frustratingly, their new stadium seems to be turning into a bit of a fortress. Spurs, again, another team transformed. Thomas Frank is doing another job. It's going to be a tough game, this, and I wonder whether they can conjure the spirit of Chirpy to get themselves over the line in this one. I'm going to go late goal fest, 2-2.
Everton Spurs. Jack's back in the team.
I think this is a very, very tough game for Spurs. Under Thomas Frank, right, sometimes they look brilliant. And, like, against Villa...
That's Spurs, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
They against under
Spursy,
anyone, they can look great.
I'm going to actually go...
Everton.
I'm going to go 2-1 Everton.
Yeah, I was going to go 2-1 Everton.
You can if you want.
Yeah, I think I will do. I think I will do 2-1 Everton.
Copying me.
Yeah.
That's all for the Super 6 Fan League this week.
Think you've got what it takes to beat our predictions? Comment Super 6 in the comments below for your chance to appear on the show.
Download the Super 6 app or head to the website, predict 6 results and take your final shot at winning the £1 million jackpot. And make sure you join our All Out Football League with code S6-AOF to go head-to-head with other fans of the show. 18+, T's and C's apply.
That's all from us this week on In the Mixer, brought to you by Sky Bet. And if you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube, and you can also listen on Apple and Spotify. Thank you for our guest, Alice.
Thanks for having me on.
And for you for watching. See you next week.